Okay, this is Murphy and Lemieux. They have 3 embryos. It says their hatch date is 8/2, but she laid like 2 or 3 eggs before she got, I think 3, before she got to fertile ones. So, it will not happen that day, probably as much as a week later. This is Murphy's brother, Kenny Loggins. And Belarus is on 3 embryos. She squeezed out 1 more egg as well. So this girl laid 9 eggs, and this girl laid 8. Overachievers. So, excuse me. Her hatch date says yesterday, but she had 5 eggs before she got to fertility. So, again, more than a week, 10 days before we'll see babies. This is O'Connor. No, this is O'Dowd and Stream. And they have, sorry to bother, Mama, 2 beautiful little babies. 1 more to go. Yep, we've got pretty babies in there. It's lovely. There is Indus. And his Luna is in here. They had a second chick hatch out way too soon. And it did die. It took 24 hours. Luna's a great mom, so she did her best, but there's some things you just can't do. So let's see what we got going on here. Anything happening here, Missy? Just the one big fat baby under your little butt? Okay. She's not in the least bit afraid of me. She's like, I don't know who you are, but I don't care. This is Dolerite and Mist. Let's see what they got going on. Go on, Mist. Out you go. They have a beautiful baby in there, at least one. There's a fat little guy over there. I got a bunch of hens that are not afraid of me, so they won't leave their nest. So she has at least one. I did see a broken eggshell in there, so there might be a second one, but she's not getting out right now, so I'll wait. This is Halligan and Dubois. Their hatch date is Friday. They had 1 extra egg in there. She has 2 trailing embryos, which I'm not sure I'm going to keep because, so here's what happened. I told her she had, she had 5 eggs in the nest. I culled her down to the top 3, and then she laid 2 more. So there's 2 embryos in there that have just barely started. They're like 1 day and 3 days old. But these guys are going to start hatching this Friday. So she can't raise these 3 and then have 2 weeks to go before these ones come. So I'm going to have to cull those eggs just to get them out of the way. She can't have more than 3 babies anyway. So this is Loren. No. Starts with an F. Okay, I'm having a brain fart. This is Quartz's girl. She's the trailing end here. Her cold date is Friday. And I think she has a bajillion fertile eggs in there. I'm going to see if I can foster 1 or 2. I will leave her with probably 3 eggs and then foster 1 of them to somewhere else. Because I want to get some, since Quartz is gone, I want to make sure I get a baby that's like him. So, but they've got quite a ways to go. She's the trailing end. Okay, so this is Bubba Jr. and his Sif. And guess what happened? She actually hatched out that 1 last little embryo. Those other 2 eggs are blank. There are no more viable embryos in there. But hey, we got 1. We'll foster an egg or 2 in there. This is Scrappy and his Fleur. And let's see if we have 2 babies in here, I believe. Okay, Fleur, out you go. There she goes. We have 2 strapping little babies in there. And those other 2 eggs are viable embryos, so we should be getting more pretty soon. And gosh knows we have lots of places to foster them. So this is Lake and her boy. And her cull date is, her hatch date is Friday. And her chicks she did this weird thing where she laid all 3 eggs without sitting on them. So, although her hatch date is based on when the first egg is laid, she didn't start sitting until after the 3rd egg was laid. So although her hatch date is Friday, again, we'll have a whole week wait before anything happens there. This is O'Connor, O'Dowd's brother. And they hatched out their first chick yesterday. I'm going to take a peek in here. Let me get my stool. Because I'm short and the cage is tall. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, Mama, come on out. Let me see what's happening. You want your little baby in there somewhere? Because I'm not telling. There's a baby in there somewhere. Trust me. Good job, O'Connor. And then put that away. And then this is McCabe. And I candled them yesterday just to check, and they're down to only 1 viable embryo. Succotash. So, I have a few places to put some of these extra embryos here. But they can't be, like, Dubois embryos are literally 1 and 3 days old. I cannot foster, that means it's 2.5 weeks before they hatch, and I cannot foster them to a nest where the chick is going to hatch out in a few days. That just doesn't work. So, I have to make some decisions on these trailing end eggs. And I have a feeling we're just going to have quite a few birds with 2 chicks or 1 chick. Because, they only have 1 chick in here, but it's already 2 days old. And her extra 2 embryos aren't going to hatch until literally the middle of August. So, it won't work. So, anyway, I'll have to figure it out. But, it's been a weird breeding season. I'm really quite sure I had yeast infections going on. So, but I am going to get some beautiful babies out of some high-value birds. So, I'm pleased, but it's been weird. Anyway, okay, so that's my pinky count. We got a long ways to go before we're done.